Hi my dear friends, welcome back to our YouTube channel. This is your ADC Max. In this video, I am going to define when we say that the vectors are orthogonal vectors. Suppose in the differential calculus, if there are two curves like f of x and g of x, if they cut orthogonally, it means that product of their slopes is equal to -1. Remember? But here, once when we have the two eigenvectors, when we say that the two eigenvectors are orthogonal to each other. So the definition says that if there are two eigenvectors x1, x2, capital X1, capital X2, if they are orthogonally to each other, then it is nothing but product of one is transpose and the one is the normal vector. So the product of x1 transpose x2 0 or x1 x2 transpose equal to 0. So we multiply the two vectors by taking one is a transpose. Then we say that the vector is orthogonal vectors. Suppose when we have three eigenvectors x1 x2 x3, then they are called as pairwise orthogonal. That means that take any two x1 x2 x2 x3 x1 x3, find this product with the transpose. So x1 transpose x2 0, x2 transpose x3 0, and x1 transpose x3 0. So x1 transpose x2, x1 transpose x3, and x2 transpose x3. Once we get 0, then these three eigenvectors are called pairwise orthogonal vectors. Correct? Now the third definition is, what is the length of the vector? Length of the eigenvector. Very simple. The length of the eigenvector is nothing but square root of sum of the squares of the each eigenvalue. So it's eigenvectors x1, x2, x2, x3. So L of x is equal to the length. So square root of x1 square plus x2 square plus x3 square. For example, suppose my eigenvector is 1, minus 2, 3. It's a column vector, isn't it? It's a column matrix. 1, minus 2, 3. What is the length of the x? It's nothing but square root of 1 square plus minus 2 square plus 3 square. It's nothing but 9 plus 1, 10 plus 4. So square root of 14. This is the length of the vector. So what is the normalized eigenvector? Normalization. They can divide each x1, x2, x3 by its length. So normalization of the eigenvector is nothing but when we make it a normalization of the vector is nothing but when we divide its length to each values of x. So what is the x here? x1, x2, x3. When we divide its length x1 by L of x, x2 by L of x, x3 by L of x is called as the normalization of the eigenvectors. So I use the letter capital N. N stands for normalization. Right? Now by the previous example, x is equal to 1 minus 2, 3. What's the length here? Root 14. So what about the N of x? What is the normalization of x? This vector is nothing but 1 by square root of 14. Minus 2 by square root of 14, 3 by square root of 14. Just we can divide its length to each of the values inside the column matrix X. Thank you so much for watching our YouTube channel. Please kindly subscribe our YouTube channel ADC Max. Thank you so much.